Hi everybody, welcome to ABC Gluten Free. Thank you for joining us today and we're so happy to be back. We want to wish you all a happy, say it,
New Year.
Happy New Year! And this is our first live show of the year, so we're so glad that you're joining us and tuning in because we do have some special things ahead for you, not just in this show today, but ahead, looking forward to 2020. You guys know my beautiful helper, Sophia. I'm your host, Dana, and Jeremiah is wiggling around somewhere, and Gluten Free Grandma's waiting patiently. Oh, she's not waiting. She's just going to eat. She's waiting patiently to eat, I thought. But anyway, we have a great show planned for you. 2020, we know you guys are all making New Year's resolutions and who's going to do this diet and that diet, and you guys know how I feel about diets. I won't go into it with you now, but realistically, you just need to eat healthy. So today we're going to give you some options on a sugar-free scone. This will actually give you the little bit of sweetness and tartness that you need to satisfy that little craving for something yummy and delicious. So my helper Sophia today is going to be doing all the work. And when Jeremiah gets here, he's going to do the rest of the work. And I'm going to just sit back and relax. How about that? Well, anyway, we hope you guys BYON and
Bring your napkin.
bring your own napkin because we want to make it quick for you. And even though we're going to do two things today, we're going to do the scones and we're going to do something else. We really want to get started on the scones first so we can get those into the oven. And in order to do that, I need you and you. And today we're going to share with you Excess Energy, which is one of our mixers. Jeremiah, could you grab a can so I can show them the difference? We have, it comes in a can and a mixer, which is right here. This is normally used for, like at a bar, to mix a drink or to make something. Can you go put that away for me, please? Thank you. To do something like that, there's 4 different flavors. There's lemon, classic, tropical, and cranberry grape. Now these are sugar-free energy supplements. So this is like a supplement that you would use for vitamin B. It has B12, B6, B5, and a bunch of different B vitamins. So we live basically on this because we know that we need the B vitamins and we love it. It also comes in an 8-ounce can. So they have how many different flavors? 19 different flavors. There's also caffeine-free ones. And all of the B vitamins that you need to endure your day and whatever it's going to be throughout your day. So we're going to show you how to use that excess in baking today. And we're going to make a really special scone for gluten-free dad. We're going to be doing a blueberry lemon scone using lemon excess. So let's get started. All right. In order to make these scones reduce sugar as much as possible, we're not going to be putting any sugar into the dough. What's going to sweeten the actual scone mix is going to be the blueberries. Because the blueberries have their own sugar and their own sweetness, we're not going to put any additional sugar in it, and we're going to show you how you can have a really super yummy, delicious scone without adding that extra sugar. So Sophia's going to do a cup of flour. We're using a regular gluten-free flour blend, whatever blend you like. You don't need to send me a message like, is this one good, is this one okay? The only difference with the blends would be whether you need a little bit more water or not, depending upon the level of cornstarch and rice and all that other thing, potato starch. If you're doing the grain-free, then that would be a separate recipe. Very similar, but you would probably need to add a little bit more liquids and maybe some baking powder, baking soda, and apple cider vinegar in order to get that little lift. So we have a cup of just plain gluten-free flour. We have a half a cup of oats. Now I'm using oats because not only was it traditional for my husband's grandmother to use oat flour in her scones, but also because if you're going to eat this could be a nice breakfast for you. You can even make it out of a breakfast bar out of it. But it actually is a slow release carbohydrate, so it'll give you kind of like a longer lasting full. So that's why they tell you to like eat oatmeal in the morning, because that's technically why. They say it's heart healthy because it's a lower releasing carbohydrate. Don't play with it. Alright, so for this recipe we're going to be using, you can use ghee, butter, coconut oil. We used Earth Balance in the first recipe that we'll show you later. But this time we're going to use Kerrygold. It's about 1/4 cup of Kerrygold butter. Kerrygold butter has a higher fat content, but of the good fats. And there's no water in this butter as in American butter. So just so you know, you would use a little bit less of Kerrygold. Probably be a half a cup of regular American butter, 1/4 to 1/3 cup of Kerrygold butter. Sophia's going to do that. So about 4 tablespoons. And what she's going to do, oh, actually, you got to finish the dry ingredients, honey, 1 second. I want to go back a little bit, rewind. Go back to the dry ingredients because she's going to do a pinch of salt. So a pinch is like our little baby spoon. You still have your little baby spoons? We have like a little baby spoon. It's like this. So it's just a little bit of, oh, you put some in already? That's fine. Little salt. 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Okay?
Oh, so not this bad.
Yeah, that one just a heaping. So it's a heaping teaspoon or 1 tablespoon. So whatever
No.
you. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And we're going to do about 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. You got your finger in there?
Yeah.
Now, in the first recipe that I did, I forgot the baking soda. But it really technically doesn't make that big of a difference. But that's okay. And then what we did... Are you okay? Let me kiss it and make it better. All right. Better. All right, what we have here is coconut milk and lemon excess. We have about 2 ounces of lemon excess. You can see it on the bottom, it's separated. And we have unsweetened almond milk, if you want to call it that. We're not going to get into the technicalities of actual milk. And that actually is kind of like our version of buttermilk. So my husband's grandmother used buttermilk in her recipe. We're using butter and milk and our excess. Yeah, Sophia's going to cut in the butter, and then she's kind of just going to crumble it up like soft and gently because we don't want hard scones. We don't want a tough scone. We want a nice, soft scone. The more you work it, the worse it's going to get, so you want to touch it as least as possible. And my husband's grandmother, she would make scones pretty much every single day. There was always an argument over the egg or no egg. We like that there's no egg in this. She didn't put an egg in hers. We're not putting an egg in ours because we don't really eat them that much. So Sophia's just going to cut in the butter. She's going to crumble it almost like a wet sand, and you're going to have to get moving a little bit on your work. Get busy, girl. And then what we're going to do is just gently fold that in and kind of incorporate it with the liquids. And we're going to soften it and softly put it on a baking sheet with parchment, which Jeremiah can actually get for me. How come you didn't go? Did you? Are you ready?
No.
Are you ready?
No.
Oh no, that's too big. Don't, just for this little baking sheet right here. So we're going to be doing a series that I'm going to talk to you about where we joked around about New Jersey Gluten Police, but we technically have been finding a lot of restaurants and businesses that have been falling very short on what they're technically calling gluten-free, and you know, people that say, oh, I just want to try it, or it's 30% increase in the industry in the restaurant business for people trying gluten-free. They say it tastes better, they say it's better for them, all of this, but this is not good for people like us who want to go out and have something to eat safely. Really cannot do that. We have to be very careful. There are a lot of businesses that are claiming they have gluten-free items or free from gluten items, but they're all cross-contaminated, or they're made in a facility that has wheat. So when you're ordering something, say for instance a gluten-free cake or cupcake or something, you really need to ask more questions than, is it gluten-free? You have to know where it's made. Is it a dedicated facility? If you have a celiac or you're gluten intolerant, or you're gluten-free and your tolerance is just not like everyone else's. If you eat a lot of packaged products, you may have a higher tolerance than other people. But it's just something to be wary of. So we're going to be doing a series on what restaurants really should be doing. We're going to give you some tips and tricks for when you go into the restaurant so that you can communicate properly. We want restaurants to dine aware, even though a lot of them aren't. The chefs are a little bit like, I know what I'm doing, I know what gluten-free is, and really they don't, because if you're looking at the ingredients and they don't know if the ingredients are gluten-free or not, how are they going to tell you and how are you going to eat this? It's very dangerous. So with that, we're going to be kind of unwrapping some companies without saying their names, but some products that you may recognize that have been calling it gluten-free and it's not. So when you're going out to eat, this is the reason why you're probably getting sick, and we don't want that to happen for you. So anyway, back to the scones. Sophia's doing her job and she's kind of just crumbling it up. See how she's just kind of lifting and coursing, making it like a wet sand, right? So now she's done with that, she's going to stop. And we're going to add our blueberries. So we're doing about 1/2 cup of blueberries, and these any blueberries. We have fresh blueberries. what I like to do is I like to mash them up a little bit so we get a little bit of that blue ribbon throughout the scone, right? We don't want to mash them up too much. We don't want them to disappear in the oven, right? So we're going to do about half a cup of blueberries. I'm just eyeballing it right now since I've done this a bunch of times already. And I'm just going to take the back of the fork and I'm going to kind of mash it up just a little bit. We're not pulverizing them. I actually, the first time I did it with the butter, so I mashed the butter and the blueberry a little bit, little by little. So don't smash it, just a little mash. These blueberries were really super sweet, and I'm surprised because it's not really blueberry season. It says these are from, where were these from? Oh, these are from Peru. So you kind of know when the season is the beginning or the end, because the blueberries are really super small, and these blueberries are small. But they're packed with antioxidants. So they do have some natural sugar in them, which is fine because it's going to add to your scone. They have a little tartness, which is going to be nice with the lemon excess. So we want that in our scone. When I first went gluten-free, let's reel back a little bit. I used to go to Starbucks and get those delicious little vanilla bean scones with the little sugar glaze on top. Jeremiah used to love them too. Remember those?
Mm-hmm.
Delicious. Okay, stop smashing. And those were like my favorite thing. And my husband's grandmother was gone. She had passed away, so nobody was really making scones every day like she did. And then going gluten-free, you're like, there goes my favorite scone in the world. So we wanted to try to replicate that. So that's why we're making it a little bit better for us in our version. Now, obviously, you guys can make it your version. If you want to put xylitol, stevia, agave, honey, maple syrup, whatever you want to put in there to sweeten it up, go right ahead. Maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons at the most. You can even do raw sugar if you want, or powdered sugar. Totally up to you. Now remember, powdered sugar is 10 times the sugar of sugar. So when they take the sugar and it's pulverized into that very fine powder, you're really realistically getting way more sugar than you have expected. Alright, so now I'm going to add the excess and the almond milk in there. You're using almond milk. I like hemp, flax, almond for baking. I like all of those. It's totally up to you, whichever one you like better. If you want to make your own nut milk, go ahead. That's a good idea. You don't get any of those gummy gums in there, right? Nobody likes those gummy gums. So for New Year's, we know you guys are probably making a bunch of resolutions and everything, but how about just to watch what you eat? Don't let food control you. Let the food that you're putting into your body be something that's healthy for you. So everything you put in your mouth matters, and that's something that you need to think about when you look at your plate. Or when you stop at one of those convenience stores and grab something, gently, gently, gently. So we're just gently folding in the liquids to here. If we need a little bit more liquid, we might add maybe some orange juice or a little bit more excess. We could do lemon juice, or we could do, you really can do anything liquidy. Let me see, what did Jeremiah give me here? Black cherry. I won't put that in. We do have a lemon excess. We could have added that. It's already carbonated, which is a great substitute. If you don't have this, you could do that. All right, let me see. I've got seltzer here. I'm going to add just a teeny, oh, that's enough. Good girl. That's good. I'm going to add just a splash of seltzer, maybe
Wait.
maybe 1 teaspoon, all right? I think in my other recipe I added a little bit more of the lemon excess, so we get that nice kick. All right, that's good. Stop. Once you get it a little bit mixed where it's kind of wet, a little bit dry, that's where you want to stop because you don't want to overmix the scones. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put just a little bit of my butter on here. I just kind of take my hand and rub it across the parchment paper. Jeremiah's sitting down relaxing. Are you enjoying yourself, honey? What are you doing? Alright, I'm going to just dump all of the scone mixture onto here. And then I'm going to shape it into a nice, you want to do it? But listen to me. Gentle, and you're not pulverizing it. We don't want dry scones, we want nice scones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make it into a round disc. And then I'm going to make sure that disc is kind of all the same all the way across. Jeremiah, would you get rid of that for me, please? A lot of people say to leave it wider on the top than the sides. I'm just not a fan of that because I feel like then it doesn't cook all at the same time and then you have maybe like a soggy middle. Not a soggy bottom, but a soggy middle. So I like to have it just the same all the way around. Now this scone is, let me just take it off of here for a minute so they can see you shaping it, Sophia. So she's just shaping it into a disc. If there's little dry patches and stuff, don't worry, it's okay. We're going to kind of bind them together. Now it's sticking to her because her hands were wet prior, right? Your hands were a little wet because you were mixing it with your hands with the butter. And she's a hot baby, so she's got a little heat on her hands. That's good, stop. Alright, so we've got a nice disc. What I'm going to do is I have a little bit of orange juice and milk. I'm going to tap it onto the top. Now this is where if you wanted to add sugar, you can put a little sprinkle of sugar on top. My husband's grandmother used to sprinkle it with raw sugar on the top. I don't like how it gets in the oven. It kind of like, I feel like it burns a little bit. So we're not going to do that. But what we are going to do is we're going to cut it into 8. 1/8, I got it right here. And actually, Grandma Martin does the prayer, right? She does the prayer when she makes anything. So Sophia can do it now. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say it.
You're going to say it.
In the name of the Father,
In the name of the Father,
Holy
the Son,
Spirit.
and the Holy Spirit. Now, normally we do it even, equal parts.
Whatever.
And then I'm going to cut each of those into their own square. Their own triangle, I'm sorry. I said square. So we have a little odd shape scone, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is just show you. These are our scones. These are going to go into the oven for about 35 minutes. Jeremiah, can you take care of that, please? The oven is on 350. It was about 35 minutes, so put it in for 30 and then we'll check it. And then while that's baking in the oven, we're going to do for you a nice, what is this? What is that? Miss Mary Mac?
Yeah, you see it in slow-mo.
I can't.
Daddy slow-moed it, and
You
it
did?
was like my elbow like went like that, and then it hit my face,
That was crazy.
and it was like,
Alright, our next item we're going to do now, we're in our house, we're football fans with the U football. So we watch soccer in this house pretty much every day. So we're going to make for you a little soccer snack because we have to have snacks when we watch the game, right? The boys usually have their nachos, and Sophie and I, we like what? We like to have fried chicken, right?
Oh.
So, although we're not doing the same fried chicken recipe we did before, we want to make for you a hot and spicy chicken bites. So, Sophie can get the chicken. This is a triple dip item. If you guys have watched the show before, triple dip means you're going to flour, then something wet, and then some kind of crust on the side. What I did is I just took one chicken breast, and I cut it into little discs. So, this would be kind of like a popcorn chicken. And obviously, no, you're not going to Popeyes and getting it. And I'm going to warn you right now, there is a major company out there claiming a gluten-free chicken bite. They're selling it to all of the restaurants, and it is not gluten-free at all. Okay? So we had a shipment come to us. We called right away. There was no marking on it, no nothing. And we called and they said, oops, we made a mistake. It's not gluten-free. Thankfully, I did not give it to my family. But I have to honestly tell you, they're selling this to restaurants and saying that it's a gluten-free popcorn, skinless, boneless buffalo chicken bite. It's frightening. So please be careful. So make your own, and then you don't have to go out and get it. So we're going to do triple dip. What do you want to do? Flour. Then we can do milk or water or applesauce or whatever,
Milk.
hot sauce.
no.
Milk? All right, would you get the milk out? Now for the triple dip, I'm going to show you the easiest and cheapest way to coat your chicken. Because people complain all the time about gluten-free breadcrumbs, and I get it. That's good. They're expensive for no reason. They're not really anything that great. They've got brown rice in them, they've got rice in them, they've got potato starch or potato flour, herbs and spices, or toasted breadcrumbs. Take your old bread, toast it. I mean, it's up to you. So we're going to take a bag of Utz chips. Now this is the, oh, I can smell it. This is the red hot Utz chips. You see these? These are like super hot. But they only have, hold on, they only have 1 gram of sugar. Okay? 1 gram of sugar. Whoa, look at that. Now you could also use a mango chili chip like these Lindberghs. I really like Lindbergh's company. I love Utz. Oh, actually, the Frugalista mom, you just posted that you put these in your kid's lunchbox the other day, right? And I said to you, oh, we're like exactly the same. We're eating the same stuff. So I had a little bit of these, but the sugar in this is also 1 gram, 19 carbs. But it does list on the ingredients powdered cane sugar. So I'm not really sure. This has sugar in it too. So which ones do we want to do? So we're going to pulverize these, right? This is the cheapest coating you can imagine. So if you're going to pulverize these, actually, you might want to get a bag and do it. We don't have any bags. Just grab like a ShopRite bag or something. And a side note, did you guys know Monmouth County plastic bags are banned? So single-use plastic bags are banned. If you're from Ocean County, it's just coming this way soon. All of the upper counties have already banned single-use plastic bags. God bless you. So if you've been saving up, if you've been hoarding your plastic bags, now's the time you might want to bust them out. Because you're not going to get them anymore. Alright, so we're going to do a little flour. Oh no, I meant put them in the bag and crush them, but that's a good idea. So any kind of flour you want to use, you can use cornstarch, tapioca starch, potato starch, whatever. We're just using a gluten-free flour. And I'm going to take my ring off. So I know we're moving a little fast today, but it is the New Year's. We want to ring you in with some delicious items. And we want to get started on really showing you how to live healthy, delicious, but also like with reduced sugars and things like that where you won't actually be hurting yourself. So I'm going to just...
What are you doing? You're fine.
Hold on 1 second. All right. Yeah, thank you. So I'd really like those to be crumbs, so you could probably bash them up a little bit more if you want to. You could do them in your food processor. Well, I just want to be able to show them because we want to get going. Jeremiah, how are we on time?
You're fine.
We're good. All right, so cracking up these chips, I think the bag of chips was $2, $2.49 maybe. You could do 3 or 4 chicken breasts with just that bag of chips and a tiny bit of flour. You only need a little bit of flour. Good girl. That's good. Good job. So you're going to triple dip. So flour first, then the wet ingredients. Sophia put some hot sauce in there, and this has all of the flavors. So we don't need to even season our chicken because it's got everything right in here. And I'm going to just pop that into the fryer. Okay. If you don't want to fry them, bake them. Don't get all crazy. All right? Don't get crazy. If you don't want to fry them, do them all at once. Put them on a baking sheet, like covered with foil so it doesn't just make a mess. And then you can bake them in the oven. Like 400 or 375 would be good for a few minutes, just until the chicken's cooked, right? Because the chips don't need to go in the oven. So if you made this into like a real nice powder, you would get a different kind of covering. You could add some flour if you wanted a more full coating. You can also make it all and then put it in the freezer, and then when you actually want them, you can take them out and you can pop them in the oven or put them in the fryer. Let me just go wash up my hands real quick. Sophia, what's your favorite thing on the coating? Do you like chips, or do you like pretzels, or what do you like the best?
Chips.
You like chips? Okay. So like when we first went gluten-free, I would just get bags of Utz chips and just break them up. And we would coat stuff in that because it was just so less expensive than actually buying the breadcrumbs. Sometimes they're $4 for a little tiny bag like that. And, you know, you have a family of 5 or whoever knows how many, and you're coating all these chicken breasts, and then you're like, forget it. I'm just going to eat grilled chicken. So don't worry. Go get a bag of chips. Even sometimes they're on sale. Crack up the whole bag and just get it ready for when you actually want it. Jeremiah, do you like this fried chicken like this?
I do.
You like it with this hot chips on it? Gluten-free grandma, you like it, or it's too hot for you?
No, I like it. I was wondering about the new air fryers now. You could do that.
You could do an air fryer if you have one. And you could also do, you could just put it in the pan and cook it if you wanted to do it in the pan. Then you're still putting it in oil. It's technically deep frying or sauteing. You could also take the chicken bites, cook them up, and then use them maybe on pasta or on a salad, and then you can have like a buffalo chicken salad or a wrap. You wanna just watch your sugar intake, because sugar creates so many different diseases and you can never backpedal and take it out. So you might as well just reduce it, and then, if something happens later on, at least you did your best, that you can, control yourself and not be so addicted to certain things. I know the Bible talks about being addicted to all kinds of things, and I think in there should be included food. They do say gluttony, so I think most Americans are gluttonous about food anyway. I mean, all you see on every single channel is food this. They even say food porn. It's calling it like a sin almost. So you want to be careful of that. We want food to be nourishment for us. We want it to create health in our bodies. Now, of course, this is not the healthiest thing we're eating, but we want you to transition little by little. So if you're going gluten-free and you used to go to chicken at Popeyes or Kentucky Fried Chicken and get those, that's what Jeremiah used to love, chicken bites at Kentucky Fried Chicken or Chick-fil-A, we have to come home and make it, because we just can't rely on a restaurant to provide us with this type of food unless it's 100% gluten-free, like Kitsch or Senza Gluten, which are my two favorite places to eat. One in New Jersey, one in New York. If you haven't been to them, you really should go. That's just a side note. Alright, so we've got some nice chicken in the fryer. If you baked it in the oven, it's going to take way longer, but that's okay if that's what you want to do. Put it on either parchment or foil, and then bake it in the oven. Alright, Sophia's doing a great job. I gotta get Jeremiah in here. You're not getting your hands dirty. No? You just want to eat? You gotta work. Oh, we have some honey mustard that we could put on this. We use honey from the Nelson's farm. We got honey. And we just put regular brown spicy mustard with it. And that's our honey mustard. You want honey mustard? You want to get it out? You can stop doing that. She's got the triple dip. She's the best at the triple dip.
Let me finish this.
Alright, you can finish that, baby. Now you might lose a little bit of your potato chips in the fryer, but that's okay. That's because we haven't set it. And by setting it, I mean like putting it in the refrigerator or the freezer for like 15 to 20 minutes. So actually you could get them all done while your oil's heating up or your oven's heating up. You could put them in the freezer or the refrigerator and let them set. And then you won't lose as much crumb off the sides. Alright, you can also do a batter where you would just take these three ingredients, mix them all together, and then dip the chicken in it. It'll be more of a batter, like a corn nugget, or it wouldn't be like that crunchy fried chicken that pretty much everybody loves. It would be more of a batter dip, like a fish fry, kind of like that. Alright, so Jeremiah, can you check on the stones for us, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. So we've got some really nice, crispy, gluten-free, Grandma's gonna like that. Some nice crispy fried chicken. You see that crispy outer and that little red color? That tells you there's heat in it, right? You want to be careful because that could definitely be really super hot, especially because Sophia put some heat in there.
Where's the honey mustard?
The honey mustard, I don't know. You're going to have to look around. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add rest of these to the fryer. And then we're going to make our drizzle for our scones. So don't go anywhere. If you guys, have a pen or paper, you want to go grab it, I'll review the recipe for you, so that you can write down the scone recipe, and then the chicken recipe is pretty easy. I don't think you need a piece of paper for that, but if you do, I will rehash it for you. Alright, so I'm just kind of shaking off the excess here, and I'm going to just dip these in. I love to have something, Okay. I love to have something spicy and then something sweet kind of. So the scones and the chicken for me would be a nice little treat, and Jeremiah maybe can make me a nice cup of coffee with some foam. I should try to pan and show you what he's doing right now. Pan over to the boy sitting on the throne. Hey, you gonna make me coffee?
Yeah.
Or, you know what, I'll just have excess. I'll have lemon excess shot in seltzer. That would be good. Alright, I'm gonna drop these down in my fryers on 375. Same thing for the oven if you were gonna bake these on 375. Now we've got our done chicken right here. I'm going to try to clean up a little bit so we can make our drizzle. Don't eat that yet. Don't touch it. Can you put the chicken away for Mommy, please? Take this and take that away. Alright, so the drizzle for our scones, we're going to use the excess again. And we're going to use arrowroot or tapioca flour. And I'm not going to show you this brand because it's not one of our pantry partners, but you can get any type of arrowroot or tapioca starch. Sophia, grab a spoon. No, Mommy has to do that. So you're gonna do about half. You're gonna do maybe a cap full of excess the lemon flavor. So we want to mimic that same flavor on the inside and the outside, sugar free. And we're basically just making a nice little white drizzle to go on top. Sophia's gonna have to do a little. We're gonna have to do a little bit more. It hardens up real fast. So we did 2 capfuls, so that's maybe 1 ounce of lemon excess. Now, if you're not familiar with lemon excess, you can order it on our website. I'll post the link on the bottom, but it's in the, you'll just look up excess mixer or blast mixer and it'll come up. And if you have a bar or a restaurant, these are great to have in addition to whatever energy drink you have. These can be a mixer for any type of a drink, even a non-alcoholic drink. Smoothies, we have a lot of, a little bit of seltzer maybe we'll use. We have a lot of businesses that use them in smoothies. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we added just a little bit of seltzer. We could have done water, but I just wanted her to have it right now in here. We've got our chicken frying, and I'm going to go over the recipe for the scones with you. Jeremiah, are you going to make me coffee?
Yeah.
Did you check on the scones already? Oh yeah, excess. Are you going to check the
I
scones?
checked them already.
Okay, how are they doing?
They're fine.
Did you turn them at all?
No.
Okay. You can turn them halfway through just to bake them evenly. If you have an oven, that kind of gives you a little bit of... The other day I made Linzer tarts, and the whole one side of the Linzer tarts were burnt. I had no idea why. The other side was so-so, on their way to being burnt. Good job. Alright, so to go over the recipe for the scones, it was 1 cup of flour, half a cup of oats, pinch of salt, 1 heaping teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and then we used 2 shots of lemon excess, so 2 ounces, and then we used about 1/4 cup to 1/3 cup of our almond milk, which is unsweetened. So we wanted to make a sugar-free version of scone for you, like the ones at Starbucks with that delicious glaze on top. And then we did half a cup of fresh blueberries. If you have dried, I would rehydrate them first, because if they're dry already, they're going to dry up in the scone and they could possibly burn, and you don't want that to happen. What were you going to say? This is a little loose, huh? Okay. So we'll wait and we'll fix it. We've got our chicken frying. Yeah, maybe like one more teaspoon. You could, if you wanted to use powdered sugar, that would add to the sugar of the scone that you're making. But we're using just the arrowroot starch because we don't want to add sugar to it because we already have the blueberry sweet. This is what I get.
Yep.
You're not even making me drink, he's just handing me an excess. I got lemon excess we could use for that
Why would you drink it out of a glass? You drink it out of the can.
Yeah, that's fine. And Jeremiah, could you look for the honey mustard? I think it's in there. I don't know if we saved it. Actually, we'll just make some. Grab the mustard, grab the Heidi honey, and then give me a bowl. Good girl.
What kind of mustard?
The brown mustard.
It's like tapioca.
Yeah, it's the same. Tapioca and arrowroot are very similar. And remember, when you're buying gluten-free products, just because it says gluten-free on it, it doesn't actually mean that it is. You need to do your research, flip the package over, read the fine print, because it's
Right,
very,
go like
very
that
fine
fast.
print.
And then going slow.
Right, gluten-free, Grandma?
And then just
We've learned by mistake, I
Trial
guess.
and error.
Trial and error.
powdered sugar doesn't.
So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of spicy brown mustard, my favorite, Heidi honey.
Your favorite.
And I'm going to do a tablespoon of Heidi honey. Now, if you want to keep the scones vegan, we're doing this for the chicken actually, so don't worry about it. The scones are vegan, plant-based.
Mommy, it looks wet.
They're not keto.
Looks wet, right?
Yeah, but it's dry, right? Alright, so we've got our honey mustard here, ready to go. And I'm going to lift up this chicken. I'm going to let Jeremiah take 1 picture and then come right back to you because we're going to show you. Jeremiah, here, you should take this. Take 1 pic. Take 1 picture over there, and then we're going to show you how super delicious and yummy they are. Don't you eat any of those.
Oh, it's
Don't
so
you
cool.
eat any
I
of
love
those.
doing this.
So, although Utz is not a pantry partner of ours, we really appreciate them, and they actually gave a huge basket to the Gingerbread Ball, which is in support of the Fisher House, which helps veterans or military that are going through medical treatment to get into a house that's closer to their doctor and stuff. So they gave us a big, beautiful basket of Utz, and we got to go to the Utz Shipment Center And we just kind of walked around and looked at everything, and we didn't get to eat or taste anything, but it was fun anyway. Right, Sophia? All right, so we're ready with the scones.
Go
Actually,
like this really fast.
gluten-free grandma, maybe. Sophia, you can grab the scones from gluten-free
And
grandma.
then go slow.
I'm gonna crack open my excess. Lemon is one of my favorite flavors. It's good in winter, spring, summer, fall. I love
Go
it.
fast and touch it. Now for your fingers.
Now's the
What
time.
about it?
We hope that you're not drooling too much
Oh, it's
because
not wet or
drooling, we
wet?
don't want you to
It's
drool
not.
so much. But
That's weird, right?
we've got our napkins ready. Thank you, Jeremiah. We're gonna just give it back to me. Give it back before you drop it all. Give it back to me.
That's only an appetizer.
I know, right? We're gonna just take the top and drizzle a little bit of honey mustard on there. Oh, I should have gave you this for a picture.
No, you go like this. Go like
Gluten-free grandma, can you hand us the
Yeah.
scones, or Jeremiah go get the
not
scones?
wet.
So we got a little bit of our drizzle on top. You could do ranch, you could do ketchup, you could do something that is not too much sugar. And yes, the honey has sugar in it, and the mustard has none. So you're good with that. And then we're gonna take a taste test. We're gonna move the triple dip away. Oh, it smells so good. You smell that?
Toast it on.
Can you smell that? Jeremiah, did you smell that? It smells so good when you were carrying it. All right, so here's our lemon blueberry scones. We're gonna just, can you hold the bowl for me, please?
You gotta go slow. You have to go slow.
Yeah, so it dries up real tight. It gets real tight because of the starch in there.
What is that?
This is lemon excess and tapioca. I actually have some on there already, so we don't actually need it. We'll do it later. All right, that's good. Just drizzle a tiny bit. No clumping. Drizzle it all the way. Jeremiah, he comes in and swoops in and takes all the food. No clumps, no clumps. Get that off. No, don't do that. I don't
Well,
want
then
that
you
on there.
can't have that on.
Yeah, I'll have to fix it. Let me fix it real quick.
Middle.
Add a little bit of water to that,
And have it a little more honey.
and I'm just gonna kind of loosen that up a little bit. For the drizzle, you could do powdered sugar, like I said. You could just do milk if you wanted to, or you could do lemon juice, lemon excess, lemon zest, whatever you want. Gonna just drizzle a little bit on top. You want a plate? Need plates? Okay. So if you guys are going to be enjoying football, I know football season's coming up, but we're in soccer season right now. Jeremiah, tell us about soccer season. Who's playing?
Nobody today.
Yesterday we missed Liverpool, right? This is yummy.
Still
We
one.
should take one back.
Don't eat anymore.
Yes.
Sophia has to have some.
She had one.
Mm.
She had two.
That
She
is,
did it.
that is spectacular. I shouldn't talk with food in my mouth. I'm sorry. All right, guys. So lemon blueberry scones, no sugar. We made the chicken bites without any sugar. It was 1 gram in the chips. That's it. There's no sugar in the milk. There's only honey in the actual honey mustard. So give yourself a little sweetness there if you want. You can do it without the honey mustard and just eat them straight up. And, you know, like I said before, we're going to be doing this series, restaurants that do it right and do it wrong, and we're going to give some tips and tricks. So if you know any restaurants that might benefit from it, you can tag them in it. If you guys know anybody who would enjoy our show that we did for you today on Facebook or live stream, send it to them or tag them on the bottom. And if you guys want any more information about excess, you can send us some questions. You can send us a DM, and we're going to put down our website that you can order it on, whether you want it in the can or in the concentrated version to put in your smoothies or to, you know, give yourself a little boost of B vitamin. How's the scone? Good?
Sorry.
How's the chicken?
They're really good with tea.
Yes, we need a little cup of tea. All right, we all set? Everybody done? Thank you, Sophia, for helping Mommy. Thank you, Jeremiah, for came right home from work and helped us set up. Thank you, Gluten-Free Grandma, for just giving us a little edible support and cleaning up for us mostly all the time. Clean up, 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 clean up. Come here, baby. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Happy New Year to everybody. A first show for the new year 2020. We want it to be healthy and happy for you. We want you to pursue Him, not other things. We want you to pursue Him, and we hope that we can share with you a little bit more about our story as we come from show to show, and hopefully we'll guide you in this direction that to eat healthier, not just gluten-free, but to eat healthier, to take the choices that you're making and make sure that they're the best for your body. Because everybody's body is different, and you have to make the best choices for your body. Sophie, thank you for your help today, baby girl. And we will see you next week on Friday. We hopefully have a special guest coming. We won't let you know until it's a definite, and we'll keep you posted. So keep tuning in, guys. Thank you for joining us on ABC Gluten Free. We want you to come, taste and see how good it is to be gluten free. Ciao.
Aprons by Ariane Designs. Makeup by Artistry. Hair by Satinique. Thank you to our pantry partners and church friends. Follow us on Livestream, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and YouTube at ABC Gluten Free. ABC Gluten Free is a production of American Bods.
Have a delicious weekend, everybody. God bless.